you're goddamn sick of that being the foot forward. The trans question, what are your pronouns, things like that. Are we past that? Tell me how you honestly feel about all that.
I just don't want to be known for that. I want to be known for the skills that I possess in the ring and the talent that I have.
Okay.
I gave myself this crazy ultimatum.
Okay.
I was like, if I don't get signed by 25, I'm going to stop wrestling. Those guys definitely made me feel like I belonged. Like those veterans, like you said, homicide, people like that I would see them at shows. Hey, Sonny Kiss, like, what's up, girl? That stuff like that, like, I felt so good because I know, like, back in your days and those days, it was a little rough. Yeah. So getting, like, the recognition and getting, like, the support and the protection, I felt protected in locker rooms because of those guys.
I'm just randomly flipping through social media and I go, oh, that's Ken Dixon and Joe Keys suplexing each other.
Yeah.
In front of tens of thousands of people. What show is this? Oh, there's no ring, it's a stage. Oh, that's Limp Bizkit. Oh, that's Sonny Kiss. What the hell is happening here?
So you just have to have thick skin.
Yes. It's not personal.
It's not personal at all. And if you take it that way, then I don't think that you should be in business.
Boom!
You know, I was in my head a lot. Especially throughout my AEW career, I was in my head a lot. Lucha Underground, though, for sure, was just an amazing time. The only thing about it that sucked was the pay. But you have to understand, I come from, you know, a background of not even knowing that I could do this for real. So you have someone who's getting a national television shot, you have to cut me some slack.
Yeah.
I'm not regular.
Yeah.
I'm not a regular human being. I'm not a regular person like everybody else. The Kenny Omega match that lasted 26 seconds, controversial as fuck. Then January comes around, they announce the company, and I'm like,
ooh.
Oh.
All right. My word.
Okay. tonykhan was absolutely amazing, always hospitable. Really just a great company to work for. I had so much fun there. The locker room was fantastic. We all like got along.
Yeah.
Well, I got along with everybody. I'm not gonna speak for
Right.
everybody else. I got to really develop who I was.
As a person and a performer?
Yes. Obviously, when I got into AW, I wasn't me now.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have double D boobs.
Yeah.
I didn't have Pam and Carmen.
Pam and Carmen had
Yes.
to ride. The deal with you and Joey Janela, they showed that vignette pre-tape.
So
it was
fun.
so cool, man.
Everyone
loved it. It was like, what is this?
I have contemplated retirement several times in the last 2 years. It has been really rough trying to comprehend why I'm, don't have a contract. It's like Cody always told me to worry about myself and not focus on that because he, he's been there before too, where he felt like other people would get in trouble and would still get pushed and he wouldn't. And now that I'm kind of maneuvering into doing mostly women's matches and stuff like that too, I want to build chemistry and relationships with them and try to have great matches with them and be I'm okay because I do have a lot of people that are in the industry now that have come up after me that has said they got into the industry because of me.
That's so cool, huh?
And I see my influence. It's definitely there.
It absolutely
I see
is.
the people that are inspired by me and it's really cool, but I'm not done.
Do not attempt to walk straight or adjust your gait. This is LiMPiN Ain't Easy, the only show where we talk about realest things in professional wrestling, the stories and the struggles. I am your handy captivating host. My name is Timmy Baltimore. Today's show is an important one. We have a very rare guest on the program. You may know her most famously from All Elite Wrestling, AEW, where she wrestled some of the biggest names in the industry, from codyrhodes to Kenny Omega. And, well, she does shoulder a pretty big responsibility, and that's sometimes a burden, because so many people look to her for answers, for inspiration, and, well, the truth of the matter is, as seriously as she takes that responsibility and as much as she understands that she has it, she also just wants to wrestle. She wants to be known for being a great wrestler, for what happens between those ropes, curtain to curtain, bell to bell. But obviously, the first thing people are going to see is that she's a trans wrestler. There's no getting around it. That's her. That's who she is. Unapologetically herself. However, because of the strong knee-jerk beliefs that come with certain people's concept and what they think when they view somebody in the LGBTQ community who is trans. It can be overwhelming, be that overwhelmingly positive or unfortunately at times overwhelmingly negative. And that is the main reason that she's shied away and really been trepidatious and hesitant to appear publicly on podcasts and interviews. However, she was gracious enough, kind enough, brave enough to come on this show and speak honestly, not just about the community and not just about the responsibility that she has, but also to talk to us about her wrestling career, her life. So without any further ado, please welcome, she's my friend, she's awesome, you're gonna love this interview. This is the Concrete Rose, Sonny Kiss. Welcome everybody to LiMPiN AiNT. I'm joined by a special guest. Doesn't do many interviews at all, so it's quite an honor to have Sonny Kiss, aka Sunny Aziza.
That's me.
On the program with myself, Timmy Baltimore. Sonny, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me. It's about time. Actually, it's so funny. I wanted to do it in person. That's why I kind of was like, let's kind of like wait a little while. But I was strategically wanting to do it in person. So
see, because I know when I came up with this idea, because this is a show about the very real struggles in the make-believe world of professional wrestling. And if you're somebody who's trying to make it in the wrestling business, you're going to go through some serious adversity, some roadblocks, some setbacks. It's just going to happen. But people don't see that, and they don't really talk about it. They see the glory days, or they see, you're out of sight, out of mind. And what they don't understand is this is a process. And for anybody trying to make it, they go through certain circles of hell. But when you're an individual who's different, has a different set of circumstances, I'm disabled. I had my own set of circumstances, and you, being trans, certainly had to encounter a different path than most of us. Would you agree with that?
I'm laughing because it's just like I just feel like this question just gets asked so much. Definitely. I feel like there's always gonna, like you said, there's always roadblocks for everyone in the business. Like professional wrestling, it's not easy for anybody. Like either you're short, you're tall, you're this, you're that. There's definitely challenges, but it's ultimately up to you to make it what you make of it. Certain ththings are out of your control, but you have the ability to, mind over matter.
This is true.
Push through.
So and I saw, because we had talked a little before, and I saw you react to the question. You're goddamn sick of that being the foot forward. The trans question. What are your pronouns? Things like that. Are we past that? Tell me how you honestly feel about all that.
So it's tough because I understand why. I understand why the question gets asked a lot, and I understand there are people that need to hear me say certain things, that need that representation, that need me to kind of like empower them. But I feel like my wrestling career sometimes gets pushed in that direction only. And it's like you don't talk about how skillful I am in the ring, or, you know, how much talent that I have, potential that I have. I think that's where I kind of like, you know, want to kind of like go away from that thing of just being like the LGBTQ wrestler. It just becomes too much. And like I just don't want to be, I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known for the skills that I possess in the ring and the talent that I have. Like
kick-ass matches.
Yeah.
Memorable moments.
Yes.
I saw a clip of you gorilla pressing Spencer freaking Slade, who's, what is he, about 6'4",
240?
240? Like, you look like you were smoking a cigarette, you know, just smoking a cigarette, one hand up.
My arm was a little skinny in that picture, but I'm looking, you know, I'm a strong girl.
Yeah, I you know, so I really appreciate that honesty in, because it is a lot, it's kind of, it's a label and it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that. So let's talk about your, if you don't mind, sort of how you grew up and where wrestling kind of caught your eye.
So I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey. Shout out to Jersey, 201. Grew up in Jersey City. I was always this kid that was very adventurous. Like I was never like, very multifaceted, very multifarious, into tons of different things. Like, I was never, like, the typical, like, I only like this type of group or this type of, like, music. You know, I was into everything, you know, rock music, hip-hop music, soul music, 70s rock, 60s soul, like, anything. So, like, I was always just into different things. And then wrestling came about because one day, my brother and my cousins were playing Revenge.
On the N64?
Yes. So I discovered wrestling through that.
That's wild.
Yes, not through the television. So I saw them playing it. They left one day, left it on. I started playing it myself.
Who was your guy or girl? Were there girls in that one?
There wasn't. There wasn't in Revenge, no. But I would play as certain people.
Okay, go on. This is good.
To see the girls. So like
come
DDP.
out with the Kimberly Page would come out, put her hand on her hip.
Yes. So I would play as like the certain guys to see the girls. But
That's
I did start to fall in love with like Rey Mysterio, and then, you know, Chris Jericho, people like that, Dean Malenko, yeah, lots of people. Oh, I loved Alex Wright, too, because he was just so flamboyant. Yes, exactly.
Just Wonder Boy.
And Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Guys, like that said that the Glenn Gilbert. Yeah. He's Jersey boy, isn't he?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
So yeah, I just kind of fell in love with it. And then WrestleMania 2000 came by. I saw the women. And I also started watching on TV around that time. So it was Attitude Era. I fell in love with Chyna. She was everything to me. Loved cool. DX as a whole, you know, the whole like corporation feud and things like that. I loved Triple H, and Trish Stratus and Lita were like so iconic to me. Yeah. Jacqueline, I wanted to be Jacqueline when I grew. Oh my God.
So like, underrated too.
Yes.
Jacqueline was
I met her
such
recently.
A beast.
Oh my God. I was fangirling so hard.
Really? Yeah.
But I love her. Yes. Jazz is like my auntie now. Victoria. Yeah, so many different women, and Gail is such a huge inspiration to me as well. Mickey, so many girls.
That's really wild. So you, was your brother and your cousin, you said?
Yes.
They left the house. You kind
of
like probably weren't allowed. They didn't let you squeeze into play probably back then.
Because I was young. I was a little baby. So it wasn't just Revenge. It was like other games too.
Sure.
But like Revenge was the one that I like kind of like stuck with for a second. It was like that, and then No Mercy had came out, and not too much after that.
Right.
WrestleMania 2000,
so
SmackDown games, and the PS2, PS1.
So you kind of you saw these characters on this game, you were playing with them, and you were like, this is also. I'm aware that this is a television show as well, but it just never occurred to watch it.
Exactly.
So you tune in. Was there a moment in time, or was it just a gradual thing that you don't remember that you go, I think I might want to approach this professionally?
Okay. So as a kid, I was in performing arts a lot. I was a dancer. I used to sit in front of the TV and like think I was like Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson and all that stuff. And I would mimic dance moves all the time. So I was just strictly into performing arts. And then when I got to high school, I was still in performing arts high school. But I kind of felt like I wanted to do something different. I think it was like junior or senior year of high school. I was like 16, 17. And then so these kids saw me. Well, not these kids. These guys saw me flipping in a park, and then like I was around a bunch of like backyard wrestlers at the time, and then someone was like, "You want to come train in like a real ring and actually do real stuff?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh,
That's
yes."
old school.
I didn't know the indies was really a thing.
Yeah.
So when I when I kind of was like pushed into that environment, I was like, "Oh, this is nerve-wracking. This is awkward." But I never thought someone like me could ever be a wrestling star. So that's why I didn't really like think of it too much. So when I started training, it was like 2011. I did one show before I even like was taking bumps. So, but I was just kind of like a valet for stand the man styles.
Okay.
I was just like a valet.
Yeah.
And then
Did you have any spots?
What did I do? I think I
Little trip spot, little hold
I
the
don't
foot spot, little
it was
pop
a
up on the
very
apron.
small. I mean, it was like a segment more so than anything.
Okay.
The first thing that I ever did was a segment.
Okay.
It wasn't really a match. I'm trying to think. I think I just got thrown out of the ring. It was a really awkward thing. I don't know. It was a really small, awkward show at the time. Yeah.
But you got to rip the Band-Aid off at some point, because if you can do that, if you can make 10 people care,
it wasn't 10 people. It was Christopher Daniels was on the card.
Oh, okay.
The Bateri was on the card. It was a
good. It was a hot show.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was a lot of great people on that card. Who else? I think Eddie Kingston was on there too. It was a long time ago. Anyways, but yeah, no, didn't really have any spots. And then like I would train on and off for about 2 years. 2013 is when I started getting in the ring consistently more and more, and feeling it out and seeing kind of how I felt. I just didn't think that I was gonna be anything huge into wrestling. Maybe for like a couple of years. I think 2015 is when I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna really try at it. I was working this job as a receptionist at a hotel, and I was paying for my wrestling tuition with that. It was a really hard time. My parents had I was also teaching yoga at the time too.
Wow. You were in college as well, right?
I didn't join college for 2 years.
Okay.
I gave myself this crazy ultimatum.
Okay.
I was like, if I don't get signed by 25, I'm going to stop wrestling. Now here's the zinger.
Yeah.
So I enrolled into college earlier than I said I was going to.
Okay.
So I enrolled into college 2017. I think I was 24. I think so. So I started doing it early. I'm like, I'm going to get a head start.
Yeah.
And then I got signed to Lucha Underground on my 25th birthday.
That's so dope. What a birthday present.
24th or 25th birthday. I forget sometimes. I don't know. But it was, I got signed 24th birthday, 25th birthday, something like that.
That's so cool. So
yeah,
I love that story because, you hear the old school stories of guys going to the gym and they're going and they work out at the gym and the Road Warriors work out there. Rick Rude worked out there. And, hey, brother, you ever think about, you're in the park doing flips and acrobatics
and stuff like that.
And somebody says,
yeah,
maybe something here.
Because so the backyard guys that I was around, they knew like a lot of pro wrestlers and stuff like that. Like mainly this guy Rocco. Rocco, I guess his name is still Rocco. Kenneth Rodriguez, my friend Rocco.
The Rocco.
Knew a couple of other guys that I knew, and then it became like, hey, this person, that person, this person, that person. We kind of just started talking, and I became good friends with them, and then they put me on their show, and that's how it all started.
What was the first, if you can remember, person to kind of take you under their wing, believe in you, mentor you, as you were starting out?
Didn't really happen for a little while. I think it probably was maybe Billy, but it was like years later.
Yeah.
It was like years. I would do certain shows and I would bond with the names that were on the show, and just kind of like super surface level. Just checking in every now and then. It was like Tony Atlas. It was like Teddy Long and people like that.
Yeah, that's so cool because they can teach you.
Yes.
They've done it. They've made the mistakes.
Absolutely.
They've made the money.
Yeah, so I just bonded with people like that, and I was just the person that was. I'm a student of the game. Yeah. I like to learn. Even to this day, like I love going and training at other places and just like wanting to learn.
Yeah.
I am so into that. Like even when I was we'll get to that soon. With AEW, just training super hard with Dustin Rhodes. I love being a student, and I love learning, and I love this. So. Yeah. It's
interesting to me because I know this isn't. I'm not painting with a broad brushstroke here. I'm not trying to, but I feel like there is there's been kind of a element to some degree of some of the younger up and coming talent throwing the baby out with the bathwater, in that the old timers, the vets, because they're crazy, used to raise hell, shoot at road signs. That's toxic, and they don't engage to get the good information. Now, I didn't get into wrestling to be buttoned up and sit crisscross applesauce. That shit like was awesome to me. You know what I mean? Raising hell and being on a pirate ship. But a lot of people, that's not what they dig. So that you knew right away. These are the people that you know, not that that's why, but that, you know, they have knowledge that they can impart on me. You knew that right away.
Matt Stryker was also another one too.
Okay, cool.
I honestly think that it was him that got me to Lucha Underground. He also had a crush on me, but whatever.
I love Matt. Matt's a good dude.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy. But yeah, I think he was one of those people too that kind of knew I had something.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I did a match with Tony Nese in EYFBO, who is Angel Ortiz and Santana. Fatal 4-Way. I was a baby.
Oh no.
I had no idea what I was doing. No idea. You could ask them too. They probably would be like, yeah, Sonny was scared as a bit.
Yeah.
I was so scared because this was like 2015. It was like like a tournament in New York somewhere. And I was just so like, these guys are like veterans. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they guided me throughout the entire match. And it was great, but I just think back to how awkward and nervous I was. Like, it was so crazy. But they were just like, they all took care of me. And Matt saw the match and thought I had something. And so from there, we like started to have a relationship. And obviously he was working with Lucha Underground at the time. And it was just perfect, like timing. Like I think Pimpinella had just left Lucha Underground. Yeah. And I was like, I think they were looking for like an exotico. I don't know if that's exactly what it was. But then I guess I happened to fall into the category. Yeah. Even though I don't consider myself an exotico at all. Yeah. But I'll take what I can get.
Sure, yeah.
I'll take what I can get. And I think that was just a perfect catalyst for the next steps of my career. Yeah. So yeah, but I'll take it.
You can't, because when you're starting out, you know, and you see this with a lot of young talent, they think they can call their shots. Yeah. And you got to kind of swallow some of your pride and come to terms with, I don't know this deal. And put in the time and get over, so then you can, whatever was, you want to correct, paying it forward and downward, then you can. Yeah. But you got to go through that. It was funny you say the vets, and because New York was different. Like when I was coming up in the early 2000s, like I was lucky enough to be like liked by the Backseat Boys and Trent Ass and Johnny Cashmere, and through them I met so cool. The Homicides of the world. Yes. And like it was intimidating. Yeah. It really was, because the New York guys kind of stuck together. And so I can really relate. Did you have a time period where you sort of like, okay, I'm in. I'm a peer, not just the intimidation factor left.
I think it's so funny that you say that, because those guys definitely made me feel like I belonged. Like those veterans, like you said, Homicide, people like that I would see them at shows. Hey, Sonny Kiss, like, what's up, girl? That stuff like that, like, I felt so good, because I know, like, back in your days and those days, it was a little rough. Yeah. So getting, like, the recognition and getting, like, the support and the protection, I felt protected in locker rooms because of those guys. Yeah. Black G's and Homicide and Eddie Kingston and people like that. Yeah. You know, they were always super cool. Deranged. Deranged is awesome. Deranged. Man. Feeling protected. Yeah. From those guys in locker rooms. So yeah.
Gosh, I used to manage Deranged in Philly for Pro Wrestling. He would just take ass whoopings.
Also too, one time at a show, so funny. So there was an instance where Masada felt like a guy did a very dangerous move to me.
Oh boy.
And Masada ran out and
Oh no. Oh no.
It was insane.
It was insane.
Bloody and scary.
What did you go?
I was just, I mean.
Right. Was he taking liberties?
No, I don't think he was at all. I think
Not Masada, the guy.
No, yeah,
Okay.
I think it was just a move that he was trying out, and I don't think that it was perfected yet.
Right.
Excuse me.
No. Nice to meet you. What
Right.
are the two?
Pam and Carmen, named after the famous Pam Anderson and Carmen Electra.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome to the show, girls. But yeah, no, I don't think he was taking liberties at all. I think
Yeah.
it just happened to be not the best move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Unfortunate for him, obviously.
But stuff like that too, man. That was like still early on in my career. I felt so protected, and even though I wasn't like I wanted him to be hurt, the other guy. I just wanted, I just felt like wow, like he yelled at me. He was like, "Don't ever let a motherfucker do that to you ever again."
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like people do care.
Yeah.
Like, people like see me as, like you said, their
Sure.
peer and, someone important to them. So, yeah.
In your upbringing with your family, and being sort of like a theater, would you consider yourself artsy or theater kid, kind of?
Musical theater and dance was like
theater.
that was my thing.
What about the dancing background? Tell me about that.
So that was cool. I did a couple of great gigs when I was a teenager. I won first place at the Hudson County Teen Arts Festival. I performed at New Jersey Performing Arts Center several times.
What song did you use for the?
Well, so for that it was just like original music.
Okay, cool.
Because they had like a band and stuff.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, super, super cool. Great stuff. And then I was a backup dancer for a couple of years for a couple of indie artists.
All right.
One was like a Billboard dance artist named Lavari.
Okay.
I did a gig with him. Nothing too crazy yet. I wasn't really like doing like big like famous artists yet. Before I could do that, I just was kind of like looking for the next steps anyway. So it was kind of like, I was looking for something different. I didn't want to go to college for dance yet. I didn't want to go to college at all at first because I just didn't feel like I was mentally ready. So I was like, okay, I'll just take a trade. So I started teaching yoga right after high school while doing wrestling and stuff like that. Auditions. I auditioned for a couple of cheerleading squads. I don't want to say which ones. Okay, fine. I'll tell you. I did the Ravens prep camp.
Oh, sweet.
And then
Ravens.
did the Jets audition. I didn't get in. I should have had my boobs done. Maybe that would have helped.
That probably would have helped. Yeah. Stacy Keebler started with the Ravens.
She sure did.
Yeah.
She sure did.
So the dancing career and the yoga, like you wear a lot of hats here. You've had your toes dipped in a lot of things. Is that because, and I can't say don't take offense because you don't know what I'm going to say, but is that because you get bored with things or because you have so many interests?
I have so many interests.
Okay.
It's crazy. Like I'm interested in a lot of different things, and even to like now, I'm a grad student and studying for my master's in epidemiology. I got my undergrad in kinesiology. Eventually, I plan to be a doctor doing both. Yes, I plan to be in rehabilitation medicine and public health nutrition. So that's my goal.
All right, pump the brakes here. What made you have a passion for that and make that decision? Because, holy cow, son.
I studied holistic medicine as a hobby for over like 12 years. I do seminars. I read a lot. I read a myriad of articles every day. Not every day, but mostly every day. I try to just stay up on that. I have clients now that I kind of just work with and, evaluate sometimes. And it's all thanks to like my counselor, like my mentor. Her name is Miss Diane, and she helps me out a lot. Just with educating me and helping others. So I have taken people from 6 medications to 1.
Wow.
I have done some really cool stuff with that.
That's what it's about, huh?
Yeah.
Like entertainment, you give people joy, but this is like...
Yeah, I've worked with Joe Keys too, Joe Keys and Ken. Joe Keys said after the stuff that I told him to take, he said, I don't know if it was his coach or someone, they said like, this is the least inflamed they've ever seen him. Yeah, this is the best physical condition
right.
he's been in.
He looks great.
Yeah,
they both transformed their bodies.
Amazing, yes.
Look at them.
Shout out to 2KQ. That's
2KQ?
That's us. Two kings and a queen.
2 kings and a queen.
Yes,
so I'll throw up a picture of Joe Keys and Ken Dixon.
Yes, 2KQ.
2KQ. If you look at them from 2017 to now, like they're oh shit, the main event's here, right? And like you were saying, we were talking earlier, because I could so relate to that. The 2KQ, it's Sonny, Keys, Ken, Joe Keys, and Sonny.
2 kings and a queen.
2 kings and a queen.
2 kings and a queen. Yeah.
And you said pass the airport test. And what?
Yeah, we always do.
So
when we walk together in like concerts areas or like at parties or anything like that. Well, we don't really go to parties, but like just events. We'll walk together and people are just like, who are they?
And where did they meet?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And like just like our chemistry with each other, like we're just super fun and playful, and we're just they're my brothers. I love them to death. So it's just a really awesome dynamic, being around them, working with them, learning from them.
Yeah.
We learn from each other, so it's a great friendship.
Since we're talking about 2KQ, and that's gonna make TV at some point. Somewhere.
That's what I was just telling Ken that yesterday. I was like, I would love for 2KQ to be an actual, even if it's just a short period of time.
Dude.
And I'm thinking like we could do trios. I could be their ballet at times. Like we do really sexy denim. Like yesterday we were all matching. We were all wearing denim and tie-dye.
Right.
Everybody was like all freaked out. Like, hell yeah, this is so cool. Like, and we always get like these crazy compliments, or like people just gravitate towards us. We're hot. I get it.
Yeah, it's a hot way to live. So let's talk about that, because I know randomly, because you know how it is in the business and showbiz, we don't try not to, the people, if you know people or you're doing, you don't really like Brett. Well, I know so you don't really do that, and the people that do it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But I'm just randomly flipping through social media and I go, oh, that's Ken Dixon and Joe Keys suplexing each other in front of tens of thousands of people. What show is this? Oh, there's no ring. It's a stage. Oh, that's Limp Bizkit. Oh, that's Sonny Kiss. What the hell is happening here? Can you tell me how all of that came to be?
So I've grown a relationship with the band for quite some time now. Fred and I met, but maybe like almost 10 years ago.
Fred Durst.
Yes, Fred Durst, the Fred Durst, legendary. We have a great relationship. Chat every now and then. He plays a lot of video games. Like he loves Call of Duty. He loves Fortnite. He's a very youthful 55-year-old.
Right.
Very youthful for 55. So he's a really cool guy. We met a couple of years ago. We just bonded. I had grown a relationship with the rest of the band too. Amazing people. Shout out to Sam Rivers, John Otto, DJ Lethal, Wes Borland. Everyone's super, super cool. Shout out to Franco Carino too. Just great people. And then one day I was like, oh, well, my peoples and I are going to come to the show. So they were like, okay, cool. Like, he's like, just let me know when you guys get here. I'll bring you guys out back. So first, like, they were just shocked because they're like, oh, wait a minute. We're not going to be in the crowd. We're going to be backstage with them.
Right.
And then it turned to, hey, you guys want to do a couple of segments? And they were like, wait, what? Like, Joe was getting so freaked out. Ken is a little more like,
he won't show his cards.
He kind of like, he won't show it. But he's really excited. I learned this about him recently, too. Like, he'll be really excited inside, but he won't kind of like...
He won't sell it.
Yeah. I'm like, why do you do that? But I think it's just because he wants to make sure that it actually does happen. Disappointment kind of...
is a real thing. Because it doesn't happen until it makes TV and the check clears.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the things where he's just like, okay, I don't want to kind of like over sell it until it happens. So fair enough. But Joe Keys was just like, yeah, this is going to happen. This is so cool. But then it turned into like, you guys are doing some like wrestling spots, and then we were just planning it backstage, and then we're just hanging out in the dressing room, having a good time. People were playing like the ukulele and guitars, and we're just singing along. It was such a great, great, great time. Obviously, I'm the biggest Limp Bizkit fan in the world.
Yeah.
So I knew all the vocals. I did it before with John Silver and Chuck Taylor. I don't know why I couldn't get the name out. Chuck Taylor. So it was just perfect, to do it again, and then this time with two of my best friends. So it was perfect.
That's so awesome. You met, like you had this quality about you, Sonny, and it's you can sit down and talk to anyone and feel like. I remember the first time I sat down and talked to you. I think it was at a AEW pay-per-view.
It was, yes. Oh, in Virginia, right? Or was that?
No, it was the Baltimore
was it
Arena,
Baltimore?
I believe. And we were just talking. I was because I'm old and stupid old white guy. So I was like, "What is dead ass?" And you walked me through the meaning of
It's
that.
a New York term.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah, New Jersey says it's stupid. It's a New York term.
But you have this quality where you're able to sit down with someone and in 10 minutes they can leave and go, I got a new friend.
Yeah. I pride myself on that.
Yeah.
I could bond with anyone about anything because I like a lot of different things. I don't really like to judge people. And I also just we all have our own stories. We all have our own, like, vices. We all have our own things. Like, I may make a joke about something, but
Sure.
I'm not serious. Like, I like the fact that, I like being in, areas that are diverse.
Yeah.
If everyone's alike, that's boring to me. Like, if we all think alike and act alike, same personalities, that's boring.
Yeah.
I want friends that's going to challenge me emotionally, personality-wise, get me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
You could be kin on certain things, have similar interests on, a couple of things, but if we're all the same, that's just boring. As far as, like, personalities-wise, yeah, I like to get to know people from all walks of life. And I don't think it makes a difference if you're one way or the other. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. Let's explore more of that.
That served you well, and that seems to have led to some
Yeah,
Really
great
noteworthy-
relationships.
yeah, noteworthy
yeah.
experiences.
And I think too, people get so shocked that you're friends with, like, these metalheads. Are you a metalhead yourself too? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. All kinds of metal too.
Right.
Thrash, new, like, progressive. So it's like I like it all.
You were at Metallica last night,
Yes.
Limp Bizkit last night, and you said 2KQ was in the
2KQ was
mosh
there.
pit.
We were in the mosh pit. Ken was getting his entire life, honey. He was. Ken was moshing like crazy. I was so like, okay, excuse me. He was
He was getting it.
having the time of his life. I'm so happy for him. Yeah, the shirts come off with them
Of course,
once they
yeah.
get.
Well, if you got it, show it, right?
I'm out there too in my jean jacket and my bra too. I just said fuck it.
Right,
Let's just
right,
go.
right.
Oh wait, can I swear?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
I got so nervous. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Yeah, they were. I was just like, fuck it. We're just having a good time.
There's so many things to ask you about, like the diversity in what your talents are, what your passions are.
Mm-hmm.
Where does wrestling rank in that?
Definitely first.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to do since I had that moment in the ring. Once I started taking bumps and stuff like that, and I said, okay, I'm gonna try this. Like, once, like, I got over the mental hump, because in the beginning it was definitely mental. Like, obviously, everyone has their different, I would say, like, hindrances when they first kind of start out too. Like, some people take better bumps. Some people are bad with psychology. You just can't get the grasp on that. I think it's just different. For me, it was definitely like, how far can I take this? How far can I excel at? Because I was naturally athletic. Obviously, I came from a dance background. So I had all those tools already. It was just more about, how far am I going to take this? Is this going to waste my time? Is it going to be for nothing? Am I going to get any kind of backlash?
Yeah.
But I learned to just say, fuck that.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's just be me. And that's why I just grown to love this so much. And it just became my everything. Like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. But I'm also realistic. That's why I'm a grad student. That's why I'm, like, doing all these different types of, like, residencies and seminars, trying to become something, because I know this business is not forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you talked a little bit about some of the mental blocks that you encountered, and I appreciate the honesty. Like some of the fears that we come up with, we don't like to talk about them sometimes. But can you elaborate a little bit on what, like, the apprehensions of, because you were embraced right away, you feel like, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
But
I mean, obviously,
yeah.
there's definitely going to be a few people every now and then, that's...
Yeah.
that's just the wrestling business, especially during that time. That was the tail end of.
Go for it.
I just want to make sure I get my words right.
Yeah.
That was a tail end of, I feel like, because the industry is very different now.
Oh, yeah.
For the trainees and the students during this time.
Oh, boy.
Back during that time, you were still getting your ass chopped to death if you were, like messing up spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you were getting chopped like crazy.
Public humiliation.
Right.
Yeah.
That was still a thing. That was the tail end of that era, was 2013, 2014. It was kind of like phasing out.
Mm-hmm.
These days is a little bit different. The kids have a different mentality. I think also people are afraid of pushing buttons a little bit on it. They don't want to kind of, speaking out how things like that. People got reprimanded for being mean to kids.
Right.
I do think a certain level of discipline is necessary.
The fear of God. A little bit of
Just
it, right?
a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be abusive.
But you can't have people acting crazy.
Yeah.
On year one.
100%.
You know?
There is a little bit of something different in the air.
Yeah.
When it comes to like a lot of the newer people.
I feel like there's a balance. There's got to be a balance there. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, it's all good.
And this is going to be tough to explain to anybody that's not in the industry, but you got to get the mark out of you.
Yeah.
To be on this side of the guardrail, because you have to know, you have to think about it from a business mentality and from a professional mentality, because people's lives are in your literal hands.
Yes.
And if you're still watching instead of actively participating and reacting, or someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to die.
You got to be committed to this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and I will say that there are a lot of the newer kids that are like, they're passionate about it. Like even here, I see a lot of the students here, like Jadis Quinn works his butt off.
He does.
So it's like, there are a lot of the new kids that want it. It's just, it's just certain types of, certain people in the industry. I just feel like when you come in and you're already like having matches like after like a month and they're pushing you, and it's like, that's cool and all. Like I get it. Like there's a different type of like the idea for what a wrestler is these days has changed too. Like, and it's okay to like I get it, but like I just feel like there's just needs to be a level of
quality control.
Yes.
There has to be. Yes. Everybody can't play. I'm sorry. Otherwise we get hurt. You know what I mean? You have to have realistic goals and I interviewed Damian Sandow, Aaron Stevens recently. He goes, wrestling used to be a secret society, now it's a public pool.
I heard that quote actually. We were talking about it yesterday actually. Yeah, it's
that's harsh, but it's there's harsh. Some element of it.
It's I like the fact that wrestling is inviting,
inclusive, right?
Yes, of all different walks of life.
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing wrong with growing to love something.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I do think you could watch wrestling last week and commit to it and be a diehard and become amazing at it.
Yeah.
Like there are people that do it.
Sure.
So it's like, it's okay. I just feel like if you're gonna do it, have the respect, come in with that mentality, work hard, acknowledge your peers, and just be a good, decent person.
Yeah.
Like understand etiquette.
Right.
Which I think that's
a big one, because people get tripped up on that.
Because wrestling etiquette is different than everything else, and people obviously, because people don't get reprimanded for it anymore.
It spirals. Yeah.
It just goes a little crazy.
It does. I tell the students around here, and this is like I go, you might not like me, and I don't care. It's not, but you're gonna look back 5 years and go, oh, because I'm at least on it. Like I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not gonna go, that was great. Good. Like, I'm not going to do that. But if there's something wrong, I'll tell you what I know to make it better. And I won't just, great match is the worst thing you can say to somebody that's trying to learn when they're not, when it wasn't, when it really wasn't. Oof. Right? How do you feel about, like, honest critique and criticism? Do you take it well? Do you welcome it? Or
Love it.
Love it.
I actually prefer it.
Yeah.
I prefer someone to tear my matches apart, tell me everything that you didn't like about it. like I said, I'm a student of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I love to learn. I love it, love it, love it. I love being under the wing of just great people and getting like different, like, you know, like ideas.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just another thing too. You just have to have thick skin.
Yes. It's
Like,
not personal.
It's not personal at all. And if you take it that way, then I don't think that you should be in business.
Boom. Thank you.
I think that if you have a problem with not being right all the time, this probably isn't the business for
Take
you.
the game for you.
Yeah.
You know, just picking up, you know, how we go through and we take different things from different people and we go, that works for me, but maybe that didn't.
Yeah.
Like I found that 3 people, if you run around asking everybody what they thought or what their opinion is, you're going to get completely mind-fucked.
Yes. Oh, wait, speaking of which, just last night,
Yeah.
freddurst texts me and goes, how was the show? How did I sound?
Oh.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Back before when I first met him, because I got the mark out of me. That's my friend now.
Ah, very cool.
I told him the sound was off at times and he was off on the drums at certain points. Yes.
You're so dope. That's
People were
it.
screaming. I told Joe, I said,
They said,
they were shocked. No.
That's what yeah.
Definitely the sound was not the best. The engineering of the sound was not that great. He performs amazing shows and he knows that.
Yeah.
He doesn't need someone to bullshit and everyone tell him, oh my God,
He
that's
knows
so
he's
cool.
great.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
All of them are fantastic musicians. The
Right.
entire Limp Bizkit band, the backing people, everyone, the production.
They didn't sell millions and millions of records.
Over 30, 40 million records worldwide, several different Grammy nods, awards everywhere. The fastest selling rock album in history.
Jeez.
Beating out Pearl Jam's Verses.
Golly.
Yes. I think they're the only rock album to sell over 1 million.
Holy
first week.
Lord.
Well, is it 1 million? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah, but
Iconic. They're
yeah.
sound of a period of time. They are the sound.
Yes, and so when he asked me that, I kept it on. He still hasn't
Yeah.
responded to me yet. But
So we don't know.
Maybe he wasn't expecting that, but I wanted to be
Yeah.
honest because there was moments where I was like, he's a little off from the drums, but he didn't have in-ears, so it's not really his fault.
Right.
But I did tell him at certain
I love
points.
that.
But it was an amazing show.
Yeah.
The crowd did not care. They were, as far as like, you know, what he thought he sounded like, because they were still cheering. It was pouring down raining. Like I said, Ken was getting his entire life in the pit, just
What a
loving
scene.
it. Amazing. It was perfection. Fantastic show.
Who do you lean on for honest criticism? Do you mind revealing that?
No, I don't mean at all. Two of my really, really good friends, Ken, the other Ken, Kenny Bengal, Alex Ryman. I grew up training with them. Came up training with them.
So they're day one.
Yeah, they're day one.
Okay, so that's important.
But also, too, Ken Dixon, you know, he's always the person that I kind of go to ask for, you know, like certain things, like as far as like character-wise and stuff like that. He's always really good with that. My coaches, Dustin Rhodes, I'll text him every now and then. Billy Gunn, we'll talk every now and then.
Did Billy Gunn, like, did he make a deal with the devil or something? Why is he his age and getting younger? Does he got the Benjamin Button? Is that what's going on?
I don't know what that man has, but I just know he is absolutely gorgeous at his age.
And you never, him and Sean Waltman are the two guys, like, you never realize how
love Sean.
giant they are.
Yes.
Just, that's how they were back then, though.
Yes.
It was Jurassic Park.
Sean is a gem too. He messaged me recently too because he thought that he thought that a storyline that I had at a certain point in Joy Wrestling was to shoot. He thought I should got married.
I may have thought that as well.
He put it in the group chat.
I may have thought that as well.
But no, yeah, he's a sweetheart.
No ring on the finger?
No ring on my finger, no. I am not married. It's a really, really fun story. Billy Dixon is amazing, though. He's really fun to work with. And I like the fact that people actually believe that we were married. It's
You know what?
Believe. Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right?
I got the big fish hooked.
Yeah.
Big fish hooked. Yeah, right.
Yeah. You talked about Jadis Quinn, and I want to ask you.
It's my baby.
Yeah, I want to ask you something about what my thinking is, and if you agree or disagree. Because I've heard a few interviews with you when they're talking about pronouns and gender and things like that, and I thought your answers were brilliant because it's like I remember Michael Jordan one time they were asking him about his political affiliation. He goes, Democrats and Republicans buy shoes. That's that.
Period. That's a mic drop.
There it is. Right? Like, and you go, I can be everything that, I'm a lot of things to a lot of people. But I don't want to answer that question for you. Can you encapsulate that answer or how you feel about when you're asked that? And
it's not a one size fit all.
Right. Okay.
So when you're dealing with pronouns, I think it's important to understand that it's okay to not get it right all the time and right away. And it's up to them as well to be mature enough to understand that not everyone's going to get it right away. Now, when you do get corrected, that is when it's like, okay, now you acknowledge I made a mistake.
Yes.
I didn't intend to offend. I am new to this. Please bear with me.
Please be patient.
It's a compassion thing. And they have to be patient as well because same thing with me. Okay, so I grew up 30 years of like my family calling me he, him. So it's like I have to be understanding of the fact that that's new to them. I can't be upset that that's how they saw me for all those years. They all call me her and daughter and sister and now, you know, but it's an adjustment and you have to be understanding of the fact that it's new to them. So with that, some people won't care. Some people will correct you. Some people just will be like, you know, won't talk to you. Some people are just, they're not gonna be pleased with it. It's just, everyone's different.
Yeah.
I didn't like to get hung up about that stuff. I just felt like it's just so,
it's laborious, right?
It's tiring.
It's tedious.
Yeah.
Here's my only issue with they, them. If I'm calling a wrestling match and it's a singles match, and I say they go for the cover, it's fucking confusing to the audience, right? Am I fucking crazy? Like, so that's the only thing I tried to explain. And
I think Jay just goes by he, they though. I think it's both. I think. Yeah.
So and I'm not just saying Jadis. It just as on a whole.
I know you. It just kind of was a catalyst.
Yeah, because
no, totally.
You know, and I wonder because it's like. I want everybody to feel comfortable, and I'm sure this is a question I guarantee announcers think about and they don't ask. People think about it and they don't ask. So, but
always ask me. I'll keep it real.
Right.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Don't DURST. You sound like shit last night, bro.
I didn't say that.
I'm just kidding.
He didn't sound like shit, but he definitely it didn't come through to the speakers.
I'm just joking.
No, I know.
Yeah, but like, but you also have a responsibility to the audience first, and I think that's a thing in wrestling we've forgotten. People want to do these gimmicks because or like, I want to do a Dragon Ball Z gimmick. It's like, well, stop. That's you may be into that. Keep that shit, like, that's a hobby. Cool. You don't have to be the model train guy.
It's all about how it's done.
Okay.
You know, it's all about the how, you know.
Yeah.
It's not what you say, it's how you do it. So it's like, it's just a matter of conveying a story. Like, you're
right.
not a stranger to that. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Also, too, like, ask. I think a lot of people just, like, beforehand don't ask these questions of just, like, how can you explain your Dragon Ball Z character to me,
right?
To make it make sense to an audience, because that's how I have to convey it to them. Because they only understand what I tell them. They can't just. Sometimes it's not always what you see,
right?
And that's what we're all. Wrestling is.
You taught me
complement each other.
Yeah.
From the wrestlers, the announcers bringing alive what they're already seeing.
Yeah, because we're
the referee. It's a
that's tools.
It's a composite of all these things.
Yeah.
So we're all bringing that out of each other.
Yeah, you're right. See, you gave me a great way to think about it, and that's because I preach like communication. Honestly, that's just a conversation.
Even if like you put that in there when you're saying they. Talk about that's
right.
They. I'm referring to they as in, for example, Jada's.
Right.
You can say that in when you're
commentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can make it very clear.
And then that educates the audience as well.
Absolutely.
And then we keep it moving.
There you go.
Because that's the job is to narrate the story you guys are telling in the ring, and we are tools for that.
Absolutely.
It's all.
We all need each other.
We all need each other.
Yeah.
So, and I realized like there may be like implications in that question because it's like, well, are you an authority? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, and that's a lot of responsibility. So I understand why that could be daunting. And I feel like that is totally like pack that up and put it away because you're a fantastic wrestler. You're a fantastic worker. And the proof's in the pudding because everybody, when you're on national TV, seemed like they wanted to work with you.
Yes, I remember. Should I call it? I'll just say Tommy.
Okay.
Tommy wanted to work with me. You know what I'm referring to, right? He said that he wanted to work with me. Not Tommy Dreamer. I'm talking about. I'll just say Malachi Black. That was him.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was him at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going by these days. So I'm just saying. When he said that he wanted to work with me, I was so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like that would be super amazing. And I think one day Dax told me, his daughter is like my biggest fan. I love her. I adore her. He's like, if this does happen, how do I explain to my daughter, you know, that I'm wrestling you because she sees you as like this queen and things like that. And so certain things like that I understand.
Yeah.
Like it's tough. It's a tough thing, and I think also too. I think some people see it as like, oh, if we put Sonny in the men's division, it's like, oh, there's like a guy beating a girl's ass, and I think that's kind of, I don't know, maybe that's kind of what the thought process was.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too deep into that actually.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say, it's an amazing feeling when people want to work with you, and having that expressed to people by people that are incredible in the ring and veterans is a blessing. Totally.
With Lucha Underground, that was a great experience for you because it was such a cool little orbit there. Did you have a good experience?
One of my favorite locker rooms I've ever been in.
What was the day there?
We had such a great chemistry in that locker room. It was so much fun. I was on the season that didn't have the high budget, so leave it to Brian. Brian makes fun of me for it all the time. He was like, "You were on that season. That season wasn't that great." So Brian Cage, the worst. Anyways, I was a young 20-something-year-old. Great opportunity for me. First time away from home like that for that long because I basically had to live in LA for like 2 months. Yeah. It was a supremely great experience. What was a day like? We would get there, we would have like the breakfast. Oh my God, their layout of food was...
They don't play.
It was everything. They had French toast and bacon and eggs and all stuff. It was great stuff. Yeah. Great stuff. And then we would they would have like the rundown, the sheets and stuff like that of what we were gonna be doing. We would film pre-tapes sometimes like that, or what they call it, like some type of like vignette. I did the jazzercise one, which was really, really fun. The flash dance. Did you see that one? Yeah, so fun. Yeah. Because I've always wanted to do that.
Wanted to do the flash dance.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
When they did the commercials and they had like the waterfall.
Yeah.
Everyone was just like, oh my God, like that's so freaking cool. Who is that? I'm like, oh, it's me, y'all. I was so blessed that they gave me like I was authentic. Yeah. In Lucha Underground, I got to go there and have a great rivalry with Jack Evans. That was so cool because he made me look like a star. Like I thank Jack Evans to this day because he made me look so good, and he didn't have to do that the way he did. He was so gracious in the ring and gave me everything and said, "Do this, do that." I still felt like I was so green in those first 5 years of my career. I did not know what I was doing. Yeah. And it's just because I didn't really have a strong mentor yet. So, like, my strikes were still a little off, and I wasn't too aggressive, and it's because I came from a dancing, ballet background, so I'm this great, everything was graceful, everything was a dance, and I learned that, too, and that was even criticism I got from fans. It was like, everything is such a dance with you, and that's could be a good thing and a bad thing. Right. If you're too graceful, where's the aggression? Where's the realism?
Where's the spontaneity?
There you go. And Ryback one time, I spoke with him after a match that I had, and he was like, believability is the thing that you just need to work on next because that's where it's going to take you to the next level. Yeah. And I do think there was instances of like me having that. I just think the consistency wasn't there because I was so I was in my head a lot.
Yeah.
Especially throughout my AEW career, I was in my head a lot. The matches that I had with Joey, I changed my my alias to the Beautiful Badass. I
Yeah.
started to amp things up a little bit, and I'm dealing with him and doing hardcore matches and dealing with blood and
Little boy.
yeah. So I was doing a lot of different stuff. It was a gradual process. I know I'm going off topic here.
No, you're fine.
But Lucha Underground, no, for sure, was just an amazing time. The only thing about it that sucked was the pay, but everything else was good.
Right.
It was a great time.
Yeah,
great roster.
I remember the first time I saw you wrestle, saw a video of you. You did the entrance, and I go, "Oh, we're wrestling after that?" And you did great though.
Yeah.
Because to be able to top that, I go, she's setting herself up here for, high expectations that you deliver.
I thank Cody so much for that because they all fought for that. And it was a cool idea that I had. And the fact that it got approved 4 days ahead, I choreographed the routines for both years.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously,
right, why not?
Why I gotta pay somebody else to do it? Or why I gotta,
Yeah.
So it was doing that before a wrestling match was a little brave.
Right.
Jacksonville, Florida, 90 degrees, humidity on 100.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Choreography full blown.
Right.
I'm not doing no, 1-2 step. It's a straight up choreographed dance. You could also too, so funny, you could see how nervous I was when I popped up on the apron.
Okay.
And Christopher Daniels was like, "Are you okay? You were not enjoying yourself." But you have to understand, I come from, a background of not even knowing that I could do this for real. So you have someone who's getting a national television shot. You have to cut me some slack.
Yeah.
I'm not regular.
Yeah.
I'm not a regular human being. I'm not a regular person like everybody else. I mean, I try to live life in society that way, but I'm not. I'm just different. So, and of course, in the back of my head, I'm going to be thinking about that because I'm entering this world where it was not always accepted or it was taboo. I thought, here we go again. I'm talking about this being different, but and I can't help it because that just is what it is. It's just the reality of life. But yeah. That was my biggest thing. A lot of times I was in my own head. So a lot of the fuck-ups that I had in AEW or wherever, even in indie matches, a lot of that stuff comes from I believed in myself, but I just wanted someone else to give me that, girl, you got this. Mm-hmm. And I started to get that eventually, but I don't feel like it was a consistency with that. I don't feel like I had support consistently and someone to kind of give me that boost to ameliorate my career.
Yeah.
That's kind of and that's what I needed a lot of times is just the support of I got you, you made a mistake, but I got you. Or, let's work on this together. So it's I didn't always have that because sometimes the focus was just on other people. And I get it because it's a business. You want to focus on the stars.
But you are a star. Let's not get it twisted.
No, I'm definitely a star for sure. Okay.
Right. I mean, we're talking about booking. It's a decision.
Right. And certain things is just out of your control, as I said before. And that's that was the big thing. I just wanted someone to be all right, you fucked this up. Let's go ahead and work on that a little bit. I'll never forget this. And I told the story on my podcast with DS. That was the first time I talked about it.
Shout out to DS.
Love DS. Okay. The Kenny Omega match that lasted 26 seconds. Controversial as fuck. I had a lot of people pissed off.
They don't know. They don't get it though, right?
That match was not supposed to be me. It was supposed to be Joey.
Okay.
Joey was around someone who had COVID.
Oh boy.
So they pulled him from the match. I'm thinking I'm just valeting Joey that night. So I'm not even in proper gear. I was not mentally here for that. This is Kenny Omega.
Best wrestler in the world, right? At that moment in time, the greatest.
How the fuck are you expect me, a person that's not used to... I haven't been on TV at that point for a while. So it wasn't a consistent TV thing with me. And that's another thing too, I didn't really get the reps of enjoying and bonding with the crowd.
Right, they didn't have the opportunity to.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that, it was just holy shit. It's me now. So I'm in Cody's little office, room area, shitting bricks.
Yeah, right.
But even though it was only you're gonna take 2 moves, I've never taken any of those moves before. The V trigger, I've never taken that before. So I'm trying to take a T bump.
Yes.
From a drop kick. Obviously, you're supposed to take like a shoulder tackle, but it didn't register with me. And QT tried so hard to help me with it just mentally before I went out there, but it was new, it was different, and that was the last time anyone's ever seen me on TV. So to this day, it hurts because it wasn't. I didn't feel like I showed that I could be amongst the best. So, yeah. So the bump was just really sloppy, and it was pre-bumped a little bit.
Quarterback memory, you know what I mean?
I-
You're
to
not
this
the
day, I
first
cringe.
and the last.
No, there's other
Right.
people that messed that move up, but still,
I know. It's tough.
Cody always told me, don't look at what other people do. Just focus on your own
Yeah.
career. Focus on you. So that's what I'm focusing on, and I didn't make him look that good, and I definitely regret that so much.
I think you'll
It is
get
what it is.
a re-up at some point. Another
Yeah, for
opportunity.
sure, for sure.
How did AEW come about as far as your opportunity there? Who called you? What was the sequence of events that led to you being there?
So Brandy slid into my DMs. It was like a late at night one time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's just gonna be an all-in 2. I didn't think it was like an actual company until like a couple of months after.
Okay.
Thinking it's just an all-in 2. She's like, "Hey, Sonny, nice to meet you." We actually have met a couple of times before that, but wrestling.
Yeah.
You're thinking you haven't really met someone. And she's just like, "Hey, do you have Memorial Day weekend open? Keep it open for us." And she was asking, "Are you contracted anywhere else?" At the time, I was still locked into Lucha Underground, and there was a lawsuit going on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We won't speak on that.
Yes. So I locked into Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
And so I said, I can do every other, booking except WE. And they were like, okay, oh, cool, keep that weekend open. And something, okay, just another all-in type of thing. Then January comes around, they announce the company, and I'm like,
Ooh.
oh.
All right. My word.
Okay. So for the next 10 months, they helped me get out of that Lucha Underground contract.
Yeah.
And
They wanted you.
Tony was like, welcome. Yeah, it was really, really cool. Tonykhan was absolutely amazing, always hospitable. Really just a great company to work for. I had so much fun there. The locker room was fantastic. We all got along.
Yeah.
Well, I got along with everybody. I'm not gonna speak
Right.
for everybody else. I got along with everyone. It was just such an amazing time. I got to really develop who I was.
As a person and a performer?
Yes. Obviously, when I got into AW, I wasn't me now. I didn't have double D boobs.
Yeah.
I didn't have Pam and Carmen.
Pam and Carmen hadn't arrived.
They didn't arrive yet. So, and I've always wanted to.
Okay.
Even before Lucha Underground, I always wanted to get my boobs done.
Yeah.
But it was never the right time. When you're rocking and rolling and moving and
Can't
shaking,
take that-
you can't take
yeah.
your time off. I was rocking and rolling. I was literally, like I said, I was a college student. I had an overnight job as a receptionist. I was going to the gym. I had a personal trainer as well.
Wow.
Yeah, really, I
You're
was
hungry.
I was hungry. I was gonna do competitions, but I decided not to because it just would have been way too much.
Too much, yeah.
I was grinding. I was driving 16 hours back and forth, Canada, all these different places, Florida, Atlanta, Ohio, just really trying to really make it. And just whoever would, recognize me. So I was doing all of that, and I was like, it's my time.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I got into AEW, and then it was just a constant growing. But overall, I felt like I didn't live up to my true potential in AEW because I just, I didn't really get a chance to do that. But I enjoyed every minute of it. I wouldn't take it back for anything.
The deal with you and Joey Janela, they showed that vignette pre-tape. And it was so
fun.
cool, man.
Everyone
loved
it.
It was like, what is this? Is
Except
different.
Tony didn't like it.
Well, that sucks. The one guy that needs to, right? But
Yes, and I was like, oh, it's gonna impress him. So I know
who
he's
produced
gonna
it?
love
Did you guys?
Cody backed it.
Okay.
But as far as the dialogue and all that stuff, Joey and I did most of the dialogue ourselves. I took ideas from movies because this is what I do.
Felt like a movie. It felt like Drive or something.
Right. So that's a good one. I'm sure he'll probably like that one too. I looked at it as, you ever seen the Love and Closet thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick Cannon, Christina
Right.
Milian. The car scene of her encouraging him to get back on his feet.
Right.
That was the idea in my head.
That was the seed of inspiration.
Right. But the story that I was told was,
smart.
I'm a Jersey girl. He's a Jersey boy. He's feeling down on his luck. Let me help him get back to himself.
So smart.
That was the idea. So I kind of intertwined the two of those, my thought process with something else and made it our own. Incredible. I enjoyed every bit of it. All the guys working that were working with it was cool. We did the fun stuff with the gas station food and stuff like that. He threw the burrito on his face. Awesome stuff. It was such a great time. I really enjoyed filming that.
Do you, when you look back on that,
I Johnny Cage someone, split into the punch in the balls. That was cool. Sorry, go ahead.
did you do you wish if you could have had a mulligan and a redo, would you have pitched it differently to Tony? Would you have packaged it differently, or was it just wasn't his thing, or didn't get it?
I don't know, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it.
That's it.
Everyone loved it.
It's so different.
Just, yeah.
There's nothing like it.
I think it just was the camera. I don't think he likes. I don't want to speak for him.
Sure.
I just want. Maybe it was just the fact that it was just. It was too much like a movie and less of a wrestling promo. But I feel like, I don't know.
That's where we're going, aren't we?
I mean, people like different things.
Yeah, and
I think that's all we can really say about it.
Right.
It's just like people like different things, and I felt like it was incredible. I feel like that could have been our thing.
right, the total different presentation.
Yeah.
Because that's what wrestling is, right? You look at the landscape, look at what everybody's doing.
Yes.
And you
That
find
would
your
have been
thing.
our thing.
Right.
Because the fans, if you look at the comments on that video, the fans were like, oh, please, more of this.
Yeah.
Because the fans got to see Joey and I, our personalities individually together. And it's the team that you least likely expect, but also works very well.
Right.
Because Joey and I do. One thing I'll say too, Joey and I, like, filming our entrances every week, we never planned anything. Joey, when I would do, like, a certain, like, booty bump, and he would, like, fly out the air, and, like, he'll, like, pop for every time I do, like, my ass little pop.
Yeah.
All that stuff was not planned. We never planned anything. Like, it was just, our chemistry was just on.
That's so dope.
Yeah, it was perfect.
With, you talked a little bit about the struggles that you personally endured in AEW, and it sounds like to me, and I think every performer goes through this at some point. Mm-hmm. You're in your own way. You're in your own head. The lie, the itty bitty shitty committee gets in you, right? And starts yapping, and it sounds, it has your voice, so you kind of believe it.
Yeah.
Was there a moment, where you felt just real deflated, and how did you kick out? Have you kicked out? Loaded question.
Damn, that's good to me. Okay, so let me think. So I'm just trying to think before I answer, before I speak. Sometimes it's just best to,
Of course.
and so you don't word vomit. I kick out, and sometimes, I'm back into a pin for some reason. Throughout the whole journey, and that's just the wrestling journey in general, and not just for me, for everyone. I think that's just kind of how it happens. I have contemplated retirement several times in the last 2 years. It has been really rough trying to comprehend why I'm, don't have a contract. Mm-hmm. I'm still young. I'm 31 years old.
Yeah.
But I'm also, time is ticking.
Yeah.
It's been hard to process the why. Mm-hmm. Because I've been working so hard. I want to cry now. Oh my God. I've been working so hard. And I just want this so bad. And I just don't feel like I never got into any trouble. Never had any scandals. I don't have any heat with anybody that I know of. I work really hard.
Yeah.
And I always did throughout the process, throughout every contract I've had, throughout every, I still, afterwards, I was still going back to my old gym and still training, which, it's like, that's the hardest part. So some days I get like a fire, and some days I'm just like, maybe my time has passed, and maybe someone in the future will, be able to take the torch that I've, helped blaze, and the path that I helped blaze, and bring that to life. I don't know. Some days I think about that. I don't know what it is, and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to really like, because I know I can't let this go yet. I know that there's so much for me to do. I know that it's just more of like a rough patch, and I just need to stick with it. Something's telling me, Sonny, like, you're doing the right thing, just stick with it. But when I think about juggling 3 jobs, when I think about being independent, like, I don't have anyone, like, I don't have a spouse or anything like that, so it's hard out here to do things by yourself. Juggling college, and like I said, with several different jobs, and some days I'm kicking out, and then some days I just want to lay there and just take the fall. It's like, it's hard. I know I'm talking in circles, but yeah.
No, that's real.
It's rough.
That's real.
It's really rough, yeah.
You're so kind and caring and personable. You see in this business sometimes squeaky wheel gets the oil, and if you are kind of an asshole, sometimes they get what they want. Do you feel is that a factor in any of it? Does that ever? Because it's not you to do that.
Yeah, but and like I said, Cody always told me, like, to worry about myself and not focus on that, because he's been there before too, where he felt like other people would get in trouble and would still get pushed, and he wouldn't. And I mean, it's hard to say that too, because same thing, like I said, one size fits all. Does not fit all.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Someone could cut a promo, and their promo could be a little raunchy, but if yours is, it's a no for you. It's like, you cannot look at other people and think of that as, not everybody could wear jorts and Jordans like John Cena. It's just, you just can't do it. It's just not.
Yeah.
We all can't do the same thing. So that's what I think about when I think about that whole thing of squeaky wheel gets grease. Because it's like, you just don't, you can't look at your career and think of that. You have to do what you do that works best for you. I don't know what that is, because I don't feel like I feel like if I'm too brazen or anything like that, I feel like I would get looked at in a different kind of light, because people are so used to me being like the nice, easygoing person. I also just feel like it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Why should I have to be disrespectful or cause a scandal to...
Or be a diva or whatever the case, right?
Why does that have to be my way of, overcoming my struggles?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. So, I mean, I'm trying to find a balance of being more, assertive, or just more confident, and just being able to speak up for myself, maybe. But I just feel like, to what extent is this gonna benefit me,
Yeah.
Rather than just kind of like doing what I'm told, which I think is like, there's nothing wrong with that. Where is the harm in that?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to think about it any deeper, because then it's like, I'm talking about things that I don't really know.
You don't know.
I don't know. I can't say things that I don't know, because that's just me assuming.
Sure.
And that's not cool either, because then I'm putting something on someone that's not true. If they don't tell me, I don't know, which I think more people should just be very honest.
Say what you mean what you say, right?
If people have told me straight up, we don't want you on our roster for XYZ, I would be like, okay. Even though it would hurt my feelings.
You'd appreciate it.
I would appreciate it, because I would get to move on. Yeah. When certain people say, like, oh, nothing right now, I'm sorry, and they don't tell you why, that's like,
Yeah.
you know, now I'm in my head 24 hours a day.
Right.
Wondering what the fuck, did I do something wrong? Did I
Yeah.
hurt someone's feelings? Did I disrespect someone? And that will drive you crazy.
It will.
The unknown will drive you crazy.
It'll make you miserable if you let it.
And like I said, I'm 31 now. So now I'm thinking like, oh my God, am I gonna be 32, 33, 34? Like, am I still gonna be doing this? I don't have time for all that.
Yeah.
So I might give myself another ultimatum.
It worked out last time.
It did.
But it can also light a fire.
Maybe that's what it was too. Maybe I was real fired up at that time, and that's probably why it happened. I don't know though.
See it? Yeah.
I do think about becoming a doctor and just kind of like focusing on that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm a very intelligent young woman,
Mm-hmm.
so I have
options.
I have other tools.
These are good kind of problems.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot, Sonny. Like, that's heavy.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying not to go too deep into things because
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to feel like I'm talking about them
Right.
or I'm disrespecting anybody, because that's not the case. I just want answers. I just want to know what to, and that's another thing too. Tell me what I need to do to make things better. One time, should I say this on air? Let me think about this.
We'll float it if you don't like it.
Okay. One time, someone said, "What about changing your gear to be?" Because that's another thing too. Like I said, one size does not fit all.
Yeah.
If you wear something a little sexy, it's not going to read well. And I tell this to Jada sometimes too. You have to understand, the business has its. Certain people could do certain things and certain people can't. That's just how it goes. I've definitely altered my gear to be covered up a little bit more to see if that might be a little bit more, okay, we can deal with that. But I was told I didn't have to do that because now I'm too covered up. So it's like, it's a mind fuck. So I was like, maybe that's not it. So I was like, okay, maybe that's not it. Maybe it's just something completely different. But it's hard. It's hard to digest. Like, damn, like I thought I was gonna do something great, and then they were like, oh, well, now you're looking like you're in another country where you have to cover up. So it's like
I feel like a lot of times some people will, because we go, when people are in a position of authority and a shot caller or executive in the industry, so many people come up and go, what do I need to do? How do I get it? Give me the answer. Give me the answer. And a lot of times they don't fucking know, right? Like, so, and they feel like they got to get, oh, well, cut your hair, or how many times I've seen cut your hair.
But I also heard that that's just kind of like a way that they kind of
see if you play ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Depends on what sociopath you're dealing with at the time.
Ooh.
I said it.
You're saying a word.
I said it.
You're saying a word. But yeah, I guess I just try to do me, keep being the best that I can be. And I got help with coaching other people too, but sometimes I'm just like, I still feel like I want to be a student. Like I want to still learn and stuff like that. And now that I'm kind of like maneuvering into doing mostly women's matches and stuff like that too, I want to build chemistry and relationships with them and try to have great matches with them and be a good base for them, because I've had great bases for a long time.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of like a lot of these women are going to be smaller than me, not as, strong and dense as me. So it's like, it's, I got to kind of, change it up a little bit. And I'm okay with that. Hopefully MCW, we're going to talk about something.
All right.
But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to like just continuing to be the best that I can be and prove that I belong. And I belong on someone's television. And I think everyone knows that. So it's just a matter of someone
doing it.
Pulling the trigger.
And that's the pivot you feel at the moment, like, because you've been working male talent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel and like whatever it takes, this can be what we want it to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the natural progression and that's like the thing that was missing,
yeah, well, I guess we'll see.
let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, I there's a lot of really talented women out here. Like I said, namely here too. Like even Gia Scott is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know we would have incredible matches, but there's a lot of women that I haven't gotten a chance to work yet, and I know that we would have some great matches. So just a matter of like, finding those moments and working with that and seeing what comes about it. Yeah.
Sonny, you have like, it feels like you have a lot on your shoulders.
I do.
Just by being yourself. A lot of people look to you for answers, representation. I feel like that can be really overwhelming, and like, and it also seems like you want to do right by it as well. You don't want to run from it, but like you said, you want maybe somebody else will pick up the torch for the groundwork that you have laid.
I'm saying more so like after
you're done.
Yeah, but that's obviously I don't want that to be the case.
You want to be the and it should.
Like I've worked very, very hard to not only be seen as, just an athlete and just a wrestler, just as a great peer. You know what I mean? Like inside and outside the ring, I've worked very hard to build those relationships. So I'm okay because I do have a lot of people that are in the industry now that have come up after me that has said they got into the industry because of me.
That's so cool, huh?
And I see my influence. It's definitely there.
It absolutely
I see
is.
the people that are inspired by me, and it's really cool. But I'm not done. I'm not done.
Yeah.
There's still so much for me to do.
Yeah.
And I just feel like when you have a trailblazer, it's not going to be easy for them.
No, it's not. You're going to take the lumps. You're going to take the criticisms. People aren't going to understand.
Even like looking at like Limp Bizkit as a band, they were hated even by their own peers. But now that we look 20, 25 years later, it's like, holy shit, they're like this big cult thing again.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about Limp Bizkit. We all love Limp Bizkit. So it's like, sometimes people just have to kind of weather the storm before they can before they can acknowledge that, get acknowledgement for their greatness.
Yeah.
For their uniqueness, for how they revolutionized an industry.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah.
So it's like, so did I.
So, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to not be the Van Gogh and take off once you're gone, right? You know what I mean? Like you,
because it's going to be easier in the future for a lot of people,
right?
But I don't mind like crawling so they can run. It's like, okay.
So somebody has to do it.
Someone has to do it. Yeah.
Why not you? Right?
So many different grades. I don't want to compare myself to any type of like
Sure.
civil rights leader, but that's what they did.
Right.
Someone has to take a stand for the industry to kind of say, okay, this is what we're gonna go with.
And you're the perfect disposition for it.
Thank you.
Because you don't greet opposition with you have empathy and love in your heart. You know what I mean? So it's not.
I want us all to succeed. I want us all to eat. I want us all to do great. Maybe that's also my problem too. Maybe I'm very
right.
Maybe I'm too selfless.
But you could.
I don't put myself first in a lot of situations, even personally too. And I think that does shine. Maybe that's a childhood trauma. I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm in therapy too, but
me too. High five.
Yes, there it is. Taking care of the mental, because that's where it starts.
That EMDR is real. It's good. The flash. Anyway.
Yeah, but you do have to. There's nothing wrong with being selfish.
Yeah.
It's how you do it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to knock people down to pull yourself up.
Yeah.
You can pull yourself up and pull them up too. But I think with the wrestling industry, it's me, which is like I said, I think it's okay. But if you can help an individual out, you don't have to give them everything. You can give them a nice, like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I think that's where it lies. It needs to be, you still have to think of yourself as this larger than life person, but the humility.
Right.
You have to have that too.
It is really weird because it's like, be a star, act like a star. We're not going to believe you're a star, but don't you dare act like a star before you're a star.
It's tough. Yeah.
Right?
It's a mind fuck because people in the wrestling industry don't know balance. Amen. So it's like if people start to gain a little bit, sometimes they gain a little too much.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, whoa, check yourself.
Right.
But I'll never forget, Taraji P. Henson said this on her podcast with Angie Martinez. She said, ego is good. You have to have ego. Unchecked ego is where you go wrong. Because
Wow.
you have to check it. Because when you don't check your ego, you're serving a different God. You're serving a different person. Because now you're serving oneself and you're serving other people, like things that don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You have to have ego because ego is good for everyone.
Right.
It's good for you in terms of walking into that job interview, studying for those college assignments. You have to think of yourself as, I'm great. I can do this. I can accomplish this. But when your ego goes unchecked, that's when you have a real problem.
Damn.
But in the wrestling industry, because sometimes people value popularity
It's the currency.
over that, the unchecked ego can continue for some people for years to come.
And there's all these metrics too, right? Like the crowd noise, the merch sales, and a lot of people that can go.
But that's the thing,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
This talks and bullshit walks.
Sure enough.
So it's like, if
Bullshit limps too.
Stop it.
Sorry.
You're so funny. But yeah, no, it's all about, just, you have to check your ego. But I don't think people understand that. I don't think people get that whole logic, because it's like, wrestling doesn't really require you to really have it. Because the thing is, when some people, like I said, some people are going to have it and then they're going to still be able to do amazing things. It's just, that's just is what it is. Because wrestling doesn't humble everyone.
No. Yeah. A lot of people don't get told no.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're a commodity. People are making money off of
You
them.
don't need to.
Yeah.
Because you could trash talk anybody and do all and be disobedient and be rude to people and be hurtful and still
Go up. Yeah. Check that. Save the burials for where it belongs in the car ride home.
That's another thing too. Please get off. People get off the internet with every little thing.
Yeah.
Say that in your group chat.
Right.
Your opinion does not have to be on the internet every single time you think something. Stop typing. Go to your group chat with your friends.
Right.
I'm putting on my accent now. That's my Jersey girl accent. Go to your group chats and say those things. Like, certain things just don't need to be said out loud.
Yeah. Amen.
It's okay to just,
have a thought.
Yeah.
And keep it there.
Yeah, keep it there.
You just don't know.
People are outwardly putting everything in the universe. No.
We don't need to know everything about you.
Not at all.
Right. The journey you've had thus far and with the best yet to come, what would you say your the largest obstacle or adversity that you've had to face, endure, attempt to overcome in your life, in the industry? Something about Sonny Aziza that confronts you on a consistent basis throughout your life that you've met, but it also shapes you and forges you into the young warrior you've become.
That's a great question. Obstacles. I mean, like, my only really obstacles is just being given a chance, really. Yeah. Just being given a chance to really, really just do all the things that I can do, use all of the tools that I have. And I don't mean like once every now and then. I mean like a person that's consistently showing me that I can be great, that I am great, showing the world that I'm great. And that's what it's always been. And maybe that's, it's so hard because, like I said, certain things are just out of our control.
Yeah.
Where it's always going to come back to that. I can only control what I can control.
Right.
And as far as the wrestling industry, that's just strictly like, putting my best foot forward to however I can make it, however I can get there is all about how I, and here. It's like, if I have it here, I put it out there, and it's like it's up to everybody else to like do that. But as far as life challenges,
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's much, you know.
You can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's.
Yeah.
I feel like that's. If
You got
feel,
that licked.
If you feel like that
Yeah.
in your life that you can't do something because of certain, you know, people's like, find a way to do it.
Find a way.
Move to a different state.
Mm-hmm.
Get your ass up, pack your bags, move, go somewhere else different. But wrestling is different. Wrestling is a different animal. Yeah. That's the one place where you can't get around certain things. You can only do what you can control. But I'm in school. I'm trying to become a lot of great things outside of wrestling.
Yeah.
Because just in case, you know,
Yeah.
my life is not any other way I want to at 35. I'm 31 now. Here we go. Here we go again.
Yeah, the numbers and ultimate.
Yep. 35 could be the time that I'm just like, okay. I have done, at that point, it would be like 15, 16 years in the business. So it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, God. This is what we're moving to next. Yeah, because I want to be happy. That's all I really want out of life. And whatever that means. I just want to be happy. Whether that's with someone or without someone, in wrestling, out of wrestling, doctor, fitness, nutritionist, all the things that I can do,
Yeah.
that I'm smart about, you know. If wherever life takes me, I just want to be happy. If that's being a wife, that's being a mom, I don't know. Something.
It's interesting because it's like, I know some, you know, people will be like, and you keep saying like, well, I'll be 35, and it's like, well, you're going to be 35 anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well keep doing what you, if it's still in your heart.
Yeah.
And I said something recently to a friend of mine talking about the show, and I like trying to figure out the rhythms of what YouTube is, like all this shit. And I'm like, it's like hitting a moving target. He goes, no, you are the target. And I was like, oh, you're right. Like,
yeah.
Bang pots and pans together. Get them to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're doing good shit and you know it, and you got the goods, you don't quit, you don't die.
Yeah.
They'll come.
Yeah. I definitely, because the thing is too, like, it's so funny when I first didn't get, you know, renewed, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a contract again in no time. Like, I'm talented.
Yeah.
I have a great personality. I'm really fun and bubbly and good to be around. Like I said, I'm a decent wrestler. Like, you know, I'm talented. So it's like, there's no way that's gonna take that long.
But you had to learn something, obviously.
I was humbled.
Yeah.
I was humbled. I was like, okay, it does not matter, you know, how good you are of a person and how talented you are. If this doesn't happen, this doesn't, you know, that doesn't really mean that you're not those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it's just a not right now. It's not your time. And maybe you have to do a couple of things to reinvent and push you a different way.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's all about what you want to do. What if you really, really want to be in this business and you really want to stick with it, and like I said, you're gonna be 35 anyway. So it's like, what do you plan to do like in the next few years? Why you're becoming 35? It's like, what are you gonna do with that time? And yeah,
it's important to give yourself grace too, you know, and patience. See. And you got to feel this too, because just watching videos and stuff as we're closing up here.
Yeah.
A lot of people are inspired by you.
Mm-hmm.
But you're a lot of things to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And again, we said it's a lot of responsibility. Is there, and this may be a question that you're like, I got nothing to say because I'm just me. But is there something you say to those people who look to you for those things? Or is it just...
Yeah, I mean, there's always an etiquette to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Even because people will say, like, this is just who I am. I'm like, and it's okay to be brazen and a little unconventional a little bit.
Can I say something? I think people whose favorite song is Frank Sinatra's My Way are assholes. Okay, because
Limp Bizkit's one is better anyway, so I'm just kidding. But yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like sometimes, yeah, etiquette, right?
Yeah, it's all about the etiquette. You can be who you are, but you still have to make sure that there is a certain ounce of, couth. You still have to have some couth about it, You still have to have some poise about it. And I think that's what I mostly will tell them. It's okay. If you feel like you're too much in certain settings, go in a different setting when you're doing that. Be in a different setting when you're that kind of person. But it's okay to recognize where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want you to be yourself. I don't want you to go in there and have your head down.
Yeah.
If this is who you are, short, tall, LGBTQ, walk in that room with your head high.
Yeah.
But still, all of that stuff, you still have to be a decent person. You still have to recognize there's a time and place. That's the biggest thing I'll just say. Time and place for everything. As far as like your identity itself, don't look at it so much as a crutch, because that's all you become. If you look at your sexuality and your gender and your height and this and that as a crutch, Rey Mysterio, look at him. There's tons of 5'9" wrestlers out there. It's like, look at yourself as larger than life, because if you do that, everyone else will.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's all about how you look at it. Whether, like I said, no matter what it is, no matter what the identity is or your appearance is.
Yeah.
If you use that as your crutch, people will always see that crutch.
Yeah.
But if you walk around and you got the crutch kind of just behind you, just in case,
Yeah.
That's cool. But
Right.
you don't use the crutch
There it is.
just as a way to,
Right.
push yourself out there. Like, push it. It's just kind of like,
For the parking spot. That's what I do. Yeah.
there you go. Just, there you go. You use it when it's time.
Right. Right. Well, yeah. Just
I'm only really handicapped when I'm parking for
pre-boarding.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there you
that's
go. That's a great way to kind of look at life.
Sure.
Because even that's a very real situation for you.
That is true.
It doesn't have to define you.
Right.
That's not what Timmy Baltimore is. Like, this is, it's fun, it's a gimmick, and it's kind of cool.
Right.
But you're not walking around every single day, just relying on that. Oh, that's just my life. No.
Yeah. No.
You're getting up every day. You're smiling. You're enjoying life. You're surrounded by good people.
Yeah.
You're pushing to be great, no matter what that is. You're not just laying, because you could be at home,
Sure enough.
laying up on your couch and got your feet propped up.
Nobody would blame me.
That's what I. But that's my point is,
Yeah.
don't use the things about you as a crutch.
Yeah.
These things are just ways that add to you. That's just gives you that personality, gives you that, because it's for conversations too. It's fun for conversations.
It is, right?
But yeah, that's the biggest thing I'll say to everybody is, be who you are, but don't use it as a crutch. No matter what, if it's a minority, it's any kind of minority or anything like that, or, just anything.
Yeah.
Just be yourself, but don't use it as a way to rest on your laurels. There you go.
You're the coolest, Sonny.
I don't suck.
Yeah, you don't suck at all. Can you plug your social medias?
Thing. I am at Sonny Kiss, SONNYKISSXO on majority of social media. Was it Facebook, Twitter, X,
You on the TikTok?
Threads, TikTok, same thing. It's another one. The new one, Blue Sky or something like that. It's a lot of social media.
Oh, that's a new one? Oh, man.
But my real name is Sunny Aziza. I may or may not be going by that in the near future. We shall see. I don't know.
Aziza.
Yes, and spelled backwards is?
Aziza. Aziza.
There you go. Yes.
It's a big name.
SUNNY. That's my real name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
Sonny, I really want to thank you for being on the show.
You're the bomb. You're the bomb.com.
Yeah, you too. I really, I know, you're special, and you, again, have why not you? You have the disposition to do the right things and to change the game in a positive way.
Yes.
And, reap the benefits yourself, but also for everybody that comes out after you. You have the right mentality for it. And that's awesome. So you're everything I could ask for in a great story for this show and a great story for the industry, and you're a testament to what this thing can be and should be.
I have to say something now.
Please.
I hate this picture.
You hate that one?
Yes. I was like, wait a minute. At some point, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
DS.
We gonna...
I hate it. Sorry, y'all. And that's how we're going to end this.
That's a wrap. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. It was perfected yet?
Right.
Excuse me.
No. Nice to meet you. What are the two?
Pam and Carmen, named after the famous Pam Anderson and Carmen Electra.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome to the show, girls.